Hey guys, it's time for another one of my how-to videos. Today we are talking about how to cut a cigar. Now that might seem pretty simple, in a lot of ways it is, but I've got a couple of tips and tricks to share with you. Hopefully edifying and a couple of entertaining ways as well. So, first of all, let's talk about cutters. Pretty simple one right here. Double blade guillotine cutter. Can't get much more simpler than this. They have single blades and they got a couple of different shapes and varieties. You can get like a V cutter. Basically all that does is it increases the surface area on the end of the cigar that you're drawing smoke through. So let's say you've got a cigar that you kind of figure it might be kind of a tight draw, or you just like a lot of smoke output. Well, the best way to go about that is to get as much surface area on there as well as you possibly can, and that's going to give it to you. Another way you might do that is you might cut the cigar at an angle. A lot of times if you've got like a torpedo cigar, easy way to do that to get more smoke output out of it, a bigger draw, get more surface area on the end of your cigar, you cut it at an angle. A lot of people do that with the torpedo style cigars. Really easy way to go about that. The general rule of thumb for cutting a standard cigar like this is you look at the cap, and usually a lot of premium cigars will have a double cap. Sometimes they'll only have a single cap, and that's okay. But what you want to try and do is you want to cut above the end of at least the last cap, so that as you're smoking it, what's left of that cap holds the wrapper leaf together so that it doesn't completely unravel as you're smoking it. So you want to try and cut as little as possible, in reality, as little as possible off the end. A lot of cutters you'll actually see will have a flat end on one side, so you can butt it up there. You can only stick it through so far, and it just cuts the very minimum off. It should be just about a perfect cut every time. I don't use one of those because I smoke a lot of torpedo cigars and they're kind of a pain to cut a torpedo cigar with. So that's the basics of it. Another way that a lot of people like to do is a punch. I've got this one here that I've had for a while. It's in the shape of a bullet. It's kind of cool. And it's pretty simple. You know, you just stick that thing in the end of it, and then it's got a little plunger here so you can punch out what's stuck in there, the tobacco from the cigar. And you can punch a little bit, you can punch a lot. You know, obviously if you get a really deep punch in there, well, that increases the surface area that you've got in there. You can also punch multiple holes overlapping. Like say you want to get a little bit better draw, you increase the surface area. Not rocket surgery. Pretty simple there. A lot of times a good decent lighter like this one here has a little flip out on the bottom with, lo and behold, a punch. So if you're in a pinch, use a punch. So that's basically the basics of how to cut a cigar. I'm sure there's a few more intricacies in there, but I'm a simple guy, so let's keep it simple. And that's kind of the right way to cut a cigar. I wonder if I can come up with some wrong ways. Or chop top. Or you can use a hatchet. I took off a little bit too much. Or use a cut-off wheel. Or you can use a lawnmower. Or you can use a pole cutter. Or use a chainsaw. Or you can use a fan blade. Maybe don't use a fan blade. Well, there you go, guys. The right way to cut a cigar, and a few examples, albeit entertaining, of the wrong way to cut a cigar. As always, I hope this video has been entertaining, educational, and of course, happy smoking. You good? Are you recording?
I am now.
You are now.
No, I'm not.
Or use a lawnmower. Start over.
You've been recording this whole time? No.
There's a couple of little tricks.
Hold on. I chopped off the top of your head. Alright, go.
But in some other ways, there's a couple of trips and a couple of wrong ways to light a cigar. Wow, did I say light?
Or
You use
wait,
cut
wait,
up.
wait. Wait, now you've got a talking neck. Hold on.
Hey,
Yeah, we gotta look for real for. Or you can use a band blade.
It's trying to
Try again.
Or a couple different other.
Yes, I am. Okay. Wait, no, don't talk yet. Let me make sure it's recording.
But I've got a few tricks and tips to give you an idea of and a video of. That's that's what we're talking about today.
Alright, go again.
What are you doing?
Ready?
How's
End
that?
it.
No.